Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Kole Raz. It's been a while since you've been on here. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. It's definitely been too long, but I'm glad to be back talking with you.
Yeah. So for people that might not know, kind of remind everybody about, you are in racing. What just kind of talk about like where people might know you from.
Yeah, so we compete in the Super Late Model Series out here on the West Coast. Travel from California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Arizona, kind of all across the board. I was in the Quickie Driver Development Program in 2021, and yeah, that's kind of about it. That's about all I've done is just super late model racing and cutting my teeth in short track racing.
Also, you're the you forgot one thing. You're also the younger brother. People might also remember your big brother Grayson Raz, who
Yep,
used to race.
he competed in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series at the time, the
Yeah.
West Series,
Mhm.
and ran that in 2015, 2016. Grew up teammates with Noah Gregson, now in the Cup Series, obviously. But yeah, so I mean, he's been a great mentor for me over the years, and it's been awesome to have him by my side every step of the way.
Yeah. So, kind of talk about what you've been doing. You were in action last weekend.
Yeah, so we ran at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval last weekend with the Northwest Super Late Model Series. We had a busy last few weeks, really, ultimately a busy start of the year. Kicked it off with the All-Star Showdown at Irwindale Speedway with the SRL series, and had a great first half of the race there before a mechanical issue. Took pole, led the first 100, and went to Chili Willy, Tucson, Arizona. Had a great finish there. We're coming off three second places in a row, so it's ultimately been a great start of the year, speed wise. Just need a little bit more luck on our side, but it's great to finally be back home in the Northwest and come back and do some more racing up here.
Yeah. So, how much? Let talk about your schedule for a second. What is your basically what is your plans for this year?
Ultimately, the main plan is going to as many big money races as we can out here. We're going back to Irwindale in May, and then there's a big race back at Wenatchee June 3rd. And then we're going to be running Evergreen Speedway twice this year, end of June and end of July, and kind of filling in some local races in between there if the timing and funding is right. And then beyond that, we just kind of got to piece together a few more races. And if I can get the sponsorship right, I'd love to go out to the Derby this year. I think the momentum we have with Port City race cars is amazing. Jefferson Racing has a new phase two car, and that's what we're going to be running next month in Irwindale, and it's bad fast. So we definitely got to get on the train and go out back east and see what we can do back there.
So yeah, just kind of talk about what these you've had a long road to get to, to get to where you are now. Just kind of talk about like what it's been like for you just to kind of go through these last few years because you've had a lot of success too.
Yeah, I mean we've been fortunate enough to have great success. I think once we ran Tucson Speedway for quite a long time, and once we stepped out and started doing some bigger races with stiffer competition, it was a steep learning curve. And I've been fortunate enough to kind of take over the reins of our operations on our family-owned car. Working 5 days a week on that thing and working on the business side of things as well. So I've been learning a lot over really just this last year. I've been trying to be a sponge, and I'm hanging body parts and working on the race car, living on the shock machine, just trying to learn where we can be better, and continuing to make our notebook as big as possible. But it's been so fun. I mean, it's kind of where I want to devote my time the rest of my life to is working on race cars. It's kind of been my niche, I guess you can say. And we'll see. Obviously, the main goal is still make it to NASCAR, but I love short track racing and super late model racing. And if I can find a way to make it a career, I'd love to do it.
Yeah. So basically just to consist of what's like a typical day for you, Cole.
Yeah, so I mean, it can vary. Now that I'm back home, it's getting the race car out of the trailer after a race weekend and cleaning it. But I'll wake up around 6:30 and spend the first part of the morning or first part of the day working on the race car, and then the second half of the day is working on sponsorship and compiling marketing proposals and meetings and trying to just reach out to the right people and build the right connections to hopefully go that next level and just ultimately get our season expensed out the right way so we can go do more racing. And we just picked up a new sponsor actually a few weeks ago, Autotown Buick GMC of Gladstone, Oregon, and we're hoping that can build into a great relationship and over the years to come. So we'll see what that can turn out to be, but we just got to keep piling them on over these next few weeks.
And what was it like? What was it like what last week in Wenatchee? And just you did had a good run, but just came up short there.
Yeah, I mean, came up short, for the third time in a row. But I mean, I'm very fortunate for the position we're in to have these good runs. I'm happy where we finished, obviously in the top three once again, but I definitely think we had something for Hayden Plybon there if we didn't lose the brake pedal that early into the race. Obviously, that just eliminates the whole race once that happens.
Yeah.
You're not loading up the car the same, you're not getting the same travel. I mean, it just you got to throw it away almost at that point. So we got into some good track position early on in the race, started eighth. So we had the bad pill draw on that. But ultimately just a long green flag run and lap traffic got busy and just came up short again.
Yeah. So when are we gonna next see you, Cole?
So the next one will be May 20th at Irwindale Speedway. That'll be on spearsracing.tv with the Spears SRL Southwest Tour. Obviously, that series produces great racing. That track is amazing, great facility.
Yep.
Tim Huddleston's done a great job out there promoting the racetrack. And I mean, that place is always packed, whether it's an ARCA race or a local show or when the SRL comes to town. I mean, it's packed. So he does a great job, and I'm excited to get back there. I think we have some redemption after our parts failure at the halfway break at the All Star Showdown. So we'll see what we can do, and hopefully get one spot better than when we've been these last few races.
So like, what are you gonna do during this off time? I know that you've been working on, the cars and and sponsorship. You're not. I mean, what's that like taught you, man?
I mean, it's taught me a lot. I think it's ultimately it's come down to me to try and make this all happen. If I want to go to that next level, I gotta do it myself and not rely on anybody else. It's not going to be handed to you, but I'm going to be going up to Natchez, Washington, which is where the Jefferson Racing shop is located. I'm going to be spending quite a few weeks up there before Irwindale, getting the car ready. And Derek Thorne is actually going to be racing that car June 3rd at Wenatchee. And so, hopefully we keep a clean run for him so he can, have as good as a run as he can have at Wenatchee. But, keeping myself as busy as possible is kind of the key thing. And hopefully the right pieces start falling in the right line.
All right. Well, Cole, thanks so much for coming on and spending a few minutes with us. And best of luck at Irwindale next month, bud.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.